Ladies and gentlemen, your hosts, Michael Wilkes, Angel Ortiz, Dr. Chad, and Sam La Cavera. Go check out beardedbrowns.com and be sure to like, follow, and subscribe. Enjoy the show.
Well, thank you everybody for tuning in. This special, extra special podcast. We have a special guest on our show today. He served 8 years with the Navy before becoming the mayor of Brook Park. He served 2 terms in the Brook Park City Council representing Ward 3, and he's been the mayor of Brook Park since 2021. Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for Brook Park's favorite mayor, Ed Orcutt. Welcome to the show, sir. Thank you so much for tuning in and coming on and hopefully answering some questions for us.
Oh, thank you for having me. We're excited to be a part of this today.
Yeah, we're excited to have you. Right off the gate, we need to ask you, it's halfway through the season. It's bye week. What do you think so far of the Browns season so far? I don't know what to call it because it seems like it's something to forget, but what do you think so far of the season?
Obviously, we're, as a fan, we want to see them win. Do we still think that there's an opportunity, or do I think that there's an opportunity for them to win and get back on track? Obviously, yes. Football is a pretty simple game. It's a game that I've played since I was a little kid. And, as long as we can control the ball and make sure that we control the whole game and manage it and manage that clock and have a good balance on offensive running and passing, I think we have a lot of great things going on. And that defense, they're swarming to that ball. I mean, they're very aggressive. Football is a tough sport. NFL is a tough league. But it's a smash mouth game. And I think that, when it comes to defense, we're bringing it. And offense, I think that, we've got to find ourselves. We've got some great people on that O-line. We just got to be able to make sure that we keep making positive gains. And, if you get 3 yards every play, you're going to win. And if you score more points, you're going to win. So that's what it comes down to. So optimistic, staying positive. And, every Sunday at the Orcutt house, it's like the Super Bowl. We enjoy it. We get together as a family and make sure that, we put out a good spread, and hopefully we're not yelling and screaming in a negative way.
Yeah. In my house, my kids make fun of me every Sunday. So I kind of understand that. They're like, they're going to lose, Dad. And I have hope and always get disappointed Monday morning. Nonetheless, we still love that team. Before we really get into stadium Browns talk and the stadium being built, and also something that's really recent that I don't know if a lot of people know, but the National High School Hall of Fame, which is moving from Canton to Brook Park. The first question we would like to bring up is, what inspired you to get into public service, and the journey? What has the journey been like leading to becoming the mayor of Brook Park?
Well, first of all, I had no aspirations to get into the political arena. But as a former, person that served, a veteran in the Navy Seabees, as I sat back and was watching what was going on in our nation, what I was seeing, even in our state and locally, what I was seeing was something that I thought we could do better. So I ended up getting involved instead of sitting on the couch and complaining. I started walking door to door and was able to participate and got elected to city council, and was extremely motivated to be able to help out and make things positive. Selfishly, it probably didn't happen at the speed that I wanted it to happen. You only have a certain amount of authority with a balanced government. So I built a great baseline with my constituents where they definitely could have their voice heard. And as much as I was trying to help them out, like I said, I was certainly limited with the authority that I had in the community that I was serving them. So I decided that I would run for mayor, and two things would happen. I would lose, and I wouldn't be able to waste my time anymore, not being able to have any authority. Or if I could win, then that would give me the ability to go out there and get it every day as the mayor, and be aggressive with getting things done. And we were very successful on that campaign. We won by 12 points. And since we've been in, I can only give credit to the residents for supporting me, and also to the employees that work here in the city of Brook Park. Without their help and without their knowledge, nothing would get done. So we're very successful because of the folks that live here and work here.
Excellent. Like you said too. So when you said when you went in now for the campaign, did you really think you had a solid shot? Did you really feel like, you know what, I got a good shot at this?
Absolutely.
That's what I like. That's right there, and on top of it, I like that.
Go ahead,
Go ahead.
Sam. Sorry. Now that you've been in office for a while, what has been the most rewarding part, and if you want to, the most challenging part is serving as mayor so far?
The most rewarding part of being the mayor is seeing results. You know, when we were sent here with an objective from the residents. You know, they wanted things to get done. They told me at the door when I went knocking door to door, talking to them about our community, saying, hey, you know, I think we can do better here and here. They told me what they expected. And that was, let's clean this town up. Let's get rid of this blighted areas on our main streets. Let's make sure that, you know, the parks are taken care of. Just the simple things that they wanted to see were getting done by this administration. It's been a great team. It's been a heavy lift. At the beginning, it was a heavy lift, not as much anymore. But what we were able to do is go out there, and I think we have about 7 buildings we've knocked down that were underperforming, blighted. Some was attracting unwelcoming folks that were at hotels and what have you.
Mm-hmm.
So the most rewarding thing is to actually see our town physically be a lot more cleaner than what it looked like 3.5 years ago. The most challenging thing that we have to face is probably just an ongoing thing that this whole country has, and our society is changing, and there's things that we have to make sure that we take care of. There's obviously division within some of the beliefs that we have politically. Post-COVID was extremely difficult to get out of that, and some of the things that were generated and developed in that. I know this is a podcast for sports and the Cleveland Browns, but quite frankly, to answer that question, you know, we have a major problem in this country with drugs. And I think that's really changed society, and we've lost focus on what's best for this country, and what's best for our caucus seems to be the number one priority. And when we think like that, we don't succeed. So the major problems that we face as a community here are what's developed outside of Brook Park as the social development of who we become. Some communities don't believe in policing as strong as we do. So it's not difficult for us to do the right things. It's just sometimes we think as Brook Park, we can be, you know, an old school town where if you break the law and you come to Brook Park, we're coming after you. And I don't know if that's completely shared with everybody else. And, you know, one thing that we hope as Brook Park residents is that we all come together as a nation and make sure that we strengthen our borders, do the right things, you know, get the drugs out of this country that don't need to be here, and move on as Americans and live that American dream that we've had here for hundreds of years.
Mayor, I couldn't agree with you more on what you just said there. I mean, I've had quite a few friends of mine fall to drugs. They're not here no more, you know, and great people they were, but they made poor life choices, you know, and a lot of the, you know, I don't want to get too much into it, but a lot of it, to me, a lot of it's the pharmaceutical industry, getting people hooked on certain things. And when they don't have those things available to them no more, they turn into other things, and it gets harder and harder. So I actually work not too far from where you're at. I'm off of my company, West Side Roofing, is right off of 130th over there and Brook Park Road. I got an uncle lives in Brook Park, so I am very familiar with the area. And I can tell you what, in the last couple of years, I did have seen a change out there cleaning up. Uh, it's a nice city to drive through. It really is. I mean, and I like what you're doing. And I couldn't agree more with you what you said on as far as the drug problem that we do have in this country right now. Really needs to be worked out with, and that's with people like you. Starts with people like you, and it starts with, and it keeps going. If everybody get on the same page, we know we can clean things up. We're good at that. I know we can be good at that.
And one thing that's going to help Brook Park, and as you clean it up, is the growth there. And one thing a huge thing that has happened over the last couple of years is you guys have secured the land, and you guys are moving the Cleveland Browns from the lakefront to Brook Park, and that is something huge for Brook Park. And as a former Brook Park resident that I was, just to echo what Sam said, I left the year before the year you got in. I left 2020. We sold our house and moved to Strongsville. Part of the reason why we felt that we needed to leave is because we thought it was, and as a man of faith, I'm going to use this as a passage of scripture, that there's no life there. Now going into Brook Park, I think of vision, and I think of life, new life, and promise. And in Proverbs 29:18 says, where there's no vision, people perish. And I think you, Mr. Mayor, you have a vision and you're accomplishing it. And part of that vision is your ability to bring the Browns to Brook Park. As far as that is concerned, what kind of economic or community impact do you think the Browns will have on nearby suburbs like you once the move is complete?
Well, the stadium itself is going to be able to host more events every year. You know, currently right now we have 10 to 13 events at the lakefront stadium there. And with having more events, what we're going to do is attract more people. We're going to attract paychecks. We're going to attract visitors. Those visitors will need to stay places. They'll need to go to restaurants to eat. Those will be the ancillary types of things that are going to be able to positively help our neighboring suburbs and the city of Cleveland. You know, some people are determined that by taking the stadium and moving it out of downtown and putting it into the suburbs, that the 10 or 13 games that are supposedly keeping downtown afloat is going to hurt. I'm going to be as honest that I can be. I don't believe that. I don't think if there's 1,000 people in a room and they told me that, 10 games a year is keeping downtown afloat, I disagree with that, and respectfully so. I don't want to sit here and get into a knockdown, drag out fight about that. What I want to do is be able to participate with great collaboration with the other leaders in the region to be able to bring a global destination to Northeast Ohio. And that is that Dome Stadium. This isn't just about football. This isn't just about Taylor Swift concerts. This is about bringing volleyball tournaments and setting up, ourselves for success with people to come here, bring their paychecks, come from Indiana, come from Pennsylvania, come from New York, come here, bring your paychecks here, stay in the hotels, eat at our restaurants, pay the admissions tax to get into those functions and be able to help our economy grow. This is something that obviously is going to be good for Brook Park. But I also do believe as you attract more people and have more events here, the possibility of NCAA bowl games or basketball championships, concerts, when those folks come into our state that have never been here before or to the region, they're not going to stay in Brook Park. One, we don't have enough hotels. Two, they're going to want to be able to go and see the great assets that Cleveland has. There's only one Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in the entire world. Playhouse Square, from what I understand, is the second largest theater district in the country. There's so many great things to see in the city of Cleveland, and there's a lot of hotels there that'll attract the people to come there, stay there, eat downtown. So I think that this is a win for the city of Brook Park, but the surrounding areas as well too.
Yeah, you
One,
see, you just touched on the next question we had, because we were going to ask you if the move to Brook Park, if that was going to jeopardize downtown's viability, but it makes sense, because like you just said, you just answered that without us even asking you that, which is awesome, because you just said once you got what you need there, there's still stuff to see downtown. There's still going to want to be more people to come down there and see downtown. People aren't just going to leave downtown because now there's a dome in Brook Park, and they're still going to want to see the aquarium. There's plenty of things to still do downtown.
yeah.
So, I mean, I'm really thoroughly looking forward to the dome build myself. I pass it a lot, and I'm happy to see the moving trucks, and they're moving dirt. I'm just like, every time I go by, I'm like, that's gonna be very sweet. I got
Yeah.
a quick question on do you guys have any plans to add anything around where the Haslam's are going to have the dome? Are you guys going to have anything, Brook Park itself, as a city mayor, is it going to have anything around those areas that's going to be built, or is there stuff that you have plans on for around that area?
Our concentration and focus is in and around the pedestrian and vehicle traffic, upgrading sidewalks, things of that nature. So our concentration is on infrastructure. Do we know that there will be some ancillary things and build outs outside of the dome area and the mixed use? Yes, there will be. I will be honest with you. I kind of like that small town feel that Brook Park still has,
Yeah.
and I want that to remain. Let's be honest. There's been some talk about the infrastructure and traffic flow. We've had Ford Motor Company here since the 1950s.
Good
on
point.
450 acres. This is going to be on about just under half of what Ford Motor Company had there. Ford Motor Company still here in Brook Park, still producing just under 800,000 motors a year, which is the largest motor manufacturing facility in North America for Ford. All we're doing is inside this perfect little box, which is State Route 237 to the west, Interstate 71 to the east, Interstate 480 to the north, and Brook Park Road to the north as well too. And we have to the south Snow Road and the Ohio Turnpike. It's away from our neighborhoods. We still want to maintain that small town feel, and we'll be able to do that majority of the year, because if you think about it, there's 365 days, and our projections are to have 18 to 20 major events a year.
Wow.
That will impact the city, where we'll see some congestion in traffic and things of that nature. But that's under 6%. That's 5% of the year that will have that. So yes, we'll have some ancillary things moving in, but I'm going to be really honest with you, Sam. I think that the greatest thing about Brook Park is, to the west on the other side of the airport, it's like being in the country. You come over to the eastern portion of Brook Park here in the suburbs. You go to the north, and we've got the RTA station, and you have that city living. So we're a great community. We want to keep it that way. But yes, we understand that there will be some ancillary things, not our concentration, not our focus right now. Our focus is on that 5% of the year for safety for our pedestrians and safety for the vehicles that'll be traveling in and around our city.
Yeah, and I've talked with the guys on the show too, because we talked about when this was being discussed before. I said, Brook Park is the place for it. You guys are like the heart of all the arteries. You got the highway, the airport. You're on all major. Everything's there, and you can. I mean, what are we? 15 minutes from downtown Cleveland, and like you said, there's things to do out west. I mean, I'm out in Lorain County. I pass down 480. I use that juncture a lot. I do roofing, so I'm all over. And you guys are at the heart of it. I mean, you guys are right there. So it really makes a lot of sense as far as people getting here. They'll be able to get where they need to get efficiently. And I believe once you guys get your infrastructure how you need it, I know you probably have to make some changes on some exits and stuff. I thought I heard something about that's already being looked at. But you guys got it going on, and I'm really liking the whole idea of that being in Brook Park. You guys are like the heart of that down there, and that dome's going to be that heartbeat.
Yeah, I agree. I also want to go back to the point of how the stadium in Brook Park will still overflow to downtown, because if you think of the boom of downtown, you also see the impact of the surrounding cities around downtown. You got Lakewood, you got Tremont and the growth there. So you move the stadium to Brook Park, you're gonna not only impact Brook Park, but Middleburg Heights, Strongsville, Berea, all that area over there, and it's going to even trickle out to downtown. So I agree with your statement when you say it's not really going to impact anything. If anything, it's going to help further the economy, or the rush to go around even small suburbs like Strongsville, where I live in, where it's beautiful here. Let's expose the surrounding suburbs around that. And I agree with you. Brook Park is a small body field, and I'm glad that you said that, because I was one of my I still have family that live there, in-laws, and that's what their worry is. That's what actually was one of the questions they said. Hey, ask them how this is going to change the culture of Brook Park, and you hit it right on the head. So thank you for that. The next question I'll have for you is, what would it mean for Brook Park to play a bigger role in the not only the Browns' future, but the NFL related projects such as Super Bowl NFL drafts, etc.
Well, that conversation has come up, since we've been on this project. We've been on this project since March of 2023. The focus on the Dome Stadium is that we have to build it first, and we have to get that here. From there's certain criteria from the NFL that establishes who and how you get selected for that. Not going to pretend to be an expert in that, but I do understand that we're going to have to. There's a need for more hotels, from what I understand. So I think what's going to happen first is, for something that large, we will have to continue to grow the region. To be able to bring on something like that. But all in all, we have to take steps to be able to make this happen. And as we do these first steps, it's going to be a positive impact for the region and the state.
Yeah. Another thing, it's not just, a lot of people are probably, I don't know if they're reading the news, but locally you've had a recent, what I would think bigger than what it should be advertised, the National High School Hall of Fame moving from Canton to Brook Park. One of the biggest red headlines recently. It's moving from Brook. How did this come together, and what made Brook Park the right place for this?
Brook Park has a very big spotlight on it right now. This is not just something that's local. It's not something that's just state. There's national recognition on the city of Brook Park right now, and the founder and CEO, Lamont Robinson, who lives up in Michigan, is following what's happening here locally, and it's all moving very fast, and it's something that's special, though. I think people recognize that, as we go through the motions to be able to bring the very first Dome Stadium to the state of Ohio, that we have some really good opportunities to be able to attract other things, and that being the National High School Football Hall of Fame. And let's face it, and when you think about the state of Ohio, the NFL was generated here and created here. This is a football state. We already have the NFL Hall of Fame here. So the idea behind the National High School Football Hall of Fame, and us just being one of a few cities that they were looking at, they came and visited 3 times, was that, what could this evolve? Where do they really want to be? And as a new concept, the National High School Football Hall of Fame, I think they've had 3 induction ceremonies thus far. And as they get ready for their 4th, they wanted to see where they could put their foundation, their base of the future of what their concept is. And there was no other place than Brook Park, in the fact that we're going to have the latest, the greatest, the best NFL stadium here in the near future. And we're really excited that we were selected. This last Saturday, the nominees were announced, and there's 52 members. On December 3rd, they'll be live streaming those selections to the class of 2026. And then on July 11th, 2026, right here in Brook Park, during our home days, we will have on stage the ceremony, their 4th induction ceremony. And there's some
Wow.
great names in there. I mean, just locally, LeBron James is one of the nominees. You know, we've got some great big players in there. Bruce Smith, one of my favorite players. We've got some big names that are available out there. We're looking forward to December 3rd, and more importantly, we're looking forward to July 11th when those players do make it here to receive their red jackets. And Brook Park will be rolling out the red carpet. There will be fireworks. This is going to be a great ceremony, and it ties right into what we're doing. Ties into what the Haslam Sports Group's doing and investing into our community. We're becoming Brownstown and the football capital. You know, the state of Ohio has always had that, and we continue to want to make that still, you know, what's happening tomorrow, but we want to enhance it and make it even special. One great thing about the National High School Football Hall of Fame is that Jimmy Haslam's father is one of the folks that have made it and has a red jacket. So it just all makes sense. It's very exciting, and we're proud that we were selected.
So you're doing it on the home days. Your home days is, and I'm not saying this because I was a former resident. I'm saying this to be legitimate, serious. You guys have one of the most exciting home days. To add that to your home days event, that's going to be epic. It's going to be a fun.
Agree.
Yeah, it's just gonna add to the excitement that's already there, and that's growing too. Your home days has grown each year, which is that's going to make it even be bigger. That's awesome news. That's the first I heard of it, so that makes it even more exciting. Can you give us a sneak peek of what the Hall of Fame will look like inside?
Yeah. So the concept plan, you know, there's videos that are out there online through their website, and what they plan to do is, you know, obviously put together a museum with, you know, all the information that you need to know about the players that have been selected and that are part of that Hall of Fame. They're going to need anywhere from what I understand, 25,000 square foot to 40,000 square foot. But right now, this is just a concept that will be built around what we're doing here in Brook Park, and it will evolve and grow into the special thing that they can build it. I do know and have taken phone calls from some of the sponsors that are ready to do something, but obviously, you know, we're going to make sure that we get through the necessary things that we have to, and bringing this world-class destination dome to the city of Brook Park first. That's our priorities. And then we'll make sure that we work right alongside the National High School Football Hall of Fame to be able to fulfill all the needs. And as we do that, and as that's built, and they bring that facility here, what it does is it helps feed what we're building in our mixed use area there. So we're going to have hotels. We're going to have retail and restaurants. So we need to be able to feed that. We don't want to just build these things and not have things around it that can feed it. So, you know, for the one time out of the year, or 2 or 3 times out of the year that we have major events with the National High School Football Hall of Fame, we have an area where they can stay and be close to the museum itself. And this is going to be bigger. They want it to grow into having the ability to bring prospects here from high school, to be able to bring coaches here and be able to put on what would be like a high school level combine.
Oh, so that's good.
They have a lot of great energy, a lot of great ideas. And again, it's a great concept that they have that we're going to help them evolve and grow in.
That is incredible. That's the first I've heard of that. And that is a high school combine here to get college scouts to come and look at players. Even locally, that's huge, because we get local product here all the time. To get somebody, the scouts inside here in Ohio, that's huge. That's bigger than I anticipate. Sorry, my mind's just blown right now.
Yeah,
sorry.
Mine is too. They have great energy. I like their team. Obviously, we're focused in on making sure that we land the great foundation of the Dome Football Stadium and making sure everything's done right with that. And we know with having that the National High School Football Hall of Fame will have great success here in the city of Brook Park.
Mayor, with that being said, is there, because I mean, there's a lot going to go into the National High School Hall of Fame, as you have just said. Is there any talks, any collaboration with the Browns organization? Are they going to maybe have any kind of input, or is there going to be any type of kind of like a a combo dream for football fans, that are from here to say, hey, do a kind of like a collab with the Cleveland Browns. Is that any talks with any of that with the National High School Hall of Fame?
They're two separate entities with what they're doing. Obviously, establishing the high school football Hall of Fame was something that was a new concept. The Cleveland Browns have been around forever, but putting the two together will be extremely helpful. And, just learning more about it and finding out that, Jimmy Haslam's father, and you can go see the videos of him being inducted. It's just something special to know that there's at least that tie there. Was kind of neat to find out about that.
All right, let's change the subject here, away from football and on to something more important. Brook Park, Ohio. That's your passion. That's what you're focused on. One question I would like these next couple of questions to focus on Brook Park and what's going to be happening over the next few years. So what are some big priorities that you have in the pipeline for Brook Park outside of the stadium, outside of the Hall of Fame, that you're excited about in the next few years?
Just to maintain what we've done for the last 60 years. Brook Park's a great community. We've had great leaders in the past. We want to make sure that we're just being able to provide the services, make sure that our departments have the tools to provide the services to our great constituents and the folks that work here as well, too. Our focus is as simple as that, just to keep delivering great product to those that live and work here.
I got one for you too. You kind of touched on it a little bit of how you already have cleaned up since you have been in office. But Brook Park, the growing and changing in your time in office, and I was just wondering where you see the vision at in another 5 to 10 years for the city of Brook Park.
At that point, we'll already be playing football, NFL football here.
Yes.
My vision is that we must maintain focus, strong leadership, and execution of the standard operating procedures that we build today on executing large crowds here. That's what I see for the future as us being successful, is to make sure that what we build here today, a foundation with a standard operating procedure, that the future leaders, the next mayor, so that she or he can be able to open up a binder, turn to page 10, and understand how to handle a crowd of 40,000, and then be able to turn to another page and learn how to handle a crowd of 100,000. So that's where I see our community in 4 to 5 years, as a well-oiled machine based on what we do today and how we put this development agreement together.
All right, last question on this topic. What advice would you give any young leader or community advocate who wants to make a difference in their hometown like you have?
Got to work hard. Got to be honest. Do the right things. Those just keep it simple. A lot of people focus too much on other things and get distracted. And what they need to know is that, sometimes when you have things that don't go your way, those might be the best lessons. And what you need to do is get up every day, buckle your chin strap, and go get it.
That's good word there. Last 2 questions here, and we'll let you go. Thank you for your time, by the way. Just a quick prediction. We're at the halfway point. What do you think the Browns are going to do from this point on? Do you think a couple more wins? Are they just building for the future, or you're just going to painfully watch like me?
I'm always going to watch. I'm always going to be focused.
Yeah.
But rebuilding for the future, I mean, we should be concentrating on winning every game.
Yes.
So as a fan, that I'm going to sit there and make sure that I'm rooting for them and supporting them. I think sometimes, here in Cleveland, we seem to be a little too negative, and we focus in on that negativity. And, as much as you don't think that the players are paying attention to the coaches, you got to remember that these are young individuals that might be pulling on them. So what I would say is that my predictions are this: we need to be good fans. We need to continue to go out there and support them. And I know I'll probably get some pushback from people barking from the cheap seats. But at the same token, I think that we do have a great team. I think that we've got good talent here. And what we need to do is we need to just execute and make sure that we believe in ourselves and win more games than the folks in our division, get in the playoffs, and then keep that momentum going.
Absolutely. That's what I like to hear, man. That's what I keep talking to. I've been born and raised into the Browns. I was just how it was. That's how it is for being a Clevelander. You know, I was a Clevelander, born at Fairview Hospital, and we came out. They said he's a healthy boy, and he's a Browns fan. That's just how it works out, Mayor. So
I love it.
Yes. Lastly, I want to get with you, Mayor. How can fans and residents stay informed about upcoming things in Brook Park itself? You know, like the Hall of Fame, High School Hall of Fame that's coming. That as that gets ready to ramp up, is there any type of sites where people can actually maybe see? I know on some type of particular construction sites, they usually will have like a site where you can actually go to and you can start watching some of the building being built and things of that nature. As far as Brook Park goes, are there any outlets that people can look at to just keep up with what's up to date with Brook Park?
Absolutely. You know, we've been as transparent as any other administration could be under the circumstances that we've had over the last couple of years. We'll continue to be transparent. We'll make sure that we get out there, whether it's through the media, social media, or just, you know, our town hall meetings with our residents. We'll continue to be advocates for positive production for this project. And we'll make sure that every step of the way, we will inform the residents. One thing to note, though, I think sometimes some people would like information well before it can ever be generated. You know, for example, a traffic report will be out and they'll immediately want to know, what are you doing here, here, and here? What we need to do is take the information in, digest it, and then make sure we execute and have a great plan before we come out there and just, you know, have a half plan for the residents. So patience is big. You know, this is going to take place in 2029. And when it comes to development agreements, understand that the city of Brook Park and the Haslam Sports Group have a very good professional working relationship. There's a lot of detail that is tied into putting this together. It's a lot of money. This is over $3 billion. As we learn more and as the negotiations are completed and are ready to go public, we will have it there for people. But the one thing that we won't be is we're not going to be rushed on this project and go out there and just tell some folks, hey, this is where we're at with this. And it really doesn't mean anything. You know, so we ask people to be patient. At the same token, as soon as it's available, we will have it. And here's another prime example of us being transparent, you know, being on the best podcast in America.
He said it. I'm done. I can retire. I'm no longer doing a podcast from this point forward. I'm going to let my wife and kids know the Mayor Brook Park think we're the best. And I'm going to retire even from work. I'm going to move to somewhere it's sunny and warm. Mayor, thank you for coming on.
Let me get one more quick question. I wanted to ask, because you did say something earlier. You did say that you had played sports growing up. Did you actually play football growing up?
Yes, I did.
Did you through high school? Did you play football?
Yeah. So I'll just tell you that my family, my parents, their families are from overseas. My dad's family is from Colombia, South America. My mother's family is from Belfast, Ireland. And my father's a young man in America in the 50s, fell in love with the Cleveland Browns. And everybody has their different little league football teams. And growing up in Western New York, we were the Cleveland Browns. So my father being a Browns fan, me playing for what was the Cleveland Browns of the area, that was exciting. And then playing football in high school was a great experience as well too. I wish I would have been able to, do more, but I took it as far as my 5'9" frame could go, and still love it today. Watch it, big fan, love football.
What position? What was one of your favorite positions to play?
High school, I was a corner and a fullback.
Corner and fullback. There you go.
You like to hit and get hit at the same time. If you know what I mean. Yeah, you like that.
Earlier, football, sports, smash mouth.
I don't know if you can answer this last question. I know we said that twice, but I lived in Brook Park for about 5 years before we moved. Me and my wife bought our first home. We got married, bought our first home at Brook Park, right on. She's gonna kill me for not remembering. I'm gonna be in trouble. I forgot the street's name already. But we bought our home, we fixed it up, and we decided because our family was growing, we needed a bigger home. If you are looking for a home, look at Brook Park. I'm telling you, it was a perfect community. The only reason why we had to move was because our house was getting too small for our family. Especially get it right now, because I'm sure the property value is going to go even higher by each passing year. And then you have a good mayor who's dedicated to the community's growth and safety as priority. So look into Brook Park if you're looking for a home. Great community. And I love the fact that you say you're going to keep the small country feel that it currently runs and has. And that's great news to hear. So Mayor Ed Orcutt, thank you for coming on today. It means a lot to us. And the fact that you say we're the best Browns podcast, it's even more as a cherry on top.
Yes, we appreciate it, Mayor. It's been a nice interview with you. I've been looking forward to this interview, and it's been everything that I thought it was going to be. And you hit everything on the head. And if at any point going forward, if you ever need an outlet, just give us a call.
Yeah.
If you got anything that you would like to get out for the city of Brook Park.
Thank you.
The question is, what is your favorite restaurant in Brook Park? I don't know if you can answer that. We're foodies here.
That's a tough one. You're putting a lot of pressure on me. Those are other softballs you were tossing me there. But I have to
ask a tough question because people
I've got to be honest with you. You know, you said some really nice things about Brook Park, and I'm just going to add this, and I'll finish with this. You know, Brook Park is a great community because of our employees, as I stated before. We have the best services when it comes to police and fire in our service department. Just phenomenal folks there. It's a great place. We're the 8th safest city in the state of Ohio out of 2,400 plus cities, townships. That this place is special, and it even comes down to our restaurants. Whether it's the Express Deli, which is I think ranked the best place to eat at in the country, to Nax, you name it, Reddy's and McJames and
you said it, Reddy's.
Goodies. I mean, I can just go. There's a new restaurant in town called Con. I mean, I can just go on and on. And quite frankly, for bragging rights against any other community, I'll take our restaurants versus anybody else.
Yeah, it's going to be great because once that stadium's built, those people outside are going to know that local food like Reddy's and Goodies, and they're going to be like, man, this pizza at Reddy's is one of the best. Yeah. It's secretly one of the best pizzas around in Ohio. I lived there. I ate tons of that pizza, so go there. That'd be my choice. And Goodies. Thank you, Mayor, for coming on. We'll let you go on that. Anything else, let us know. We'll bring you back on. Appreciate you.
Thank you, Angel. Thank you, Sam. Appreciate you guys. Have a great day.
All right, too. Have a good one. Thank you.
That was Mayor Ed Orcutt. He joined us live from his office. I kind of felt underdressed. Nonetheless,
that was awesome.
That was a good time. We got a lot of information there. A lot of good stuff that Brook Park's going to grow into and become. He was as dapper can be. He was just a great interview. I thought not bad for our first political person on the show, right?
Right. Oh, not at all. Not at all. And you can tell his passion is his job at what he's doing. I mean, he says everything that he's hits the nail on the head. He doesn't waste time. And it started with trying to clean the city up. That was like one of his focal points when we first started the interview. And I could tell that, like I say, I work out that way, and it is a nice city to be around. So, and it's just going to get better, and I can't wait to see. And like their home days is going to have the National High School Hall of Fame induction there. Even sweeter, we found that. That's something new that I didn't hear about.
Yeah, so we'll probably be there and doing some interviews.
That'll be excellent.
So mark that on our calendar early. Thanks for the heads up.
Yeah, excellent.
Yeah, a lot of info. Please, if you can, subscribe, and follow all our social media, Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube. Other than that, I guess we can let everybody go. Tune in Tuesday, 7:30, live on all platforms, in our new show, Browns Morning Brew, 10 a.m. with Sam, Mike, and our new guy, Gary Lee, which, by the way, you guys are doing really good the last 2 shows.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. It just it was fun. I like the Morning Brew. When when you had brought it up and we started doing that with you or earlier last year, something else to look forward to. And yeah, man, kind of get yin and yang between Saturday and Tuesday. So
Yeah, it's a
I
good
like it.
show. So tune in 10 o'clock every Saturday. It's gonna be weird the next 2 Saturdays for you because you can't talk about a game, so you're most likely will do your mid-season. I would assume mid-season review, and then next week is not a game for you guys. So you guys will probably talk about something. I don't know.
Yeah,
I can help give some advice.
Yeah.
I sent you guys some stuff earlier. Maybe you guys can talk about how great Miles is and how much this team's offense stinks.
Yeah, I think we got a scheme problem. I was talking with Mike earlier today. I think we're running into a scheme problem.
Yeah, it's a wall. The wall is a lack of scheme. That's why our running game sucks. It's not the defensive line that's stopping us. It's the scheme wall.
I think it's starting to look more scheme. I mean, we had Flacco here and he was struggling. He goes to Cincinnati, does well. We got Gabriel back there. I know we don't have that many weapons and at the wide receiver spot, and he's struggling. So I don't know. What happens if you send Gabriel to another team? Is he still going to play out?
No, I don't think so. That's it.
So,
I'll say that for a Tuesday show.
Yeah, right. All right, everybody. It's been a great interview. Come check us out. Like I said, we got Saturday morning brew, and then check out the fellas out here on Tuesdays at 7:30 on all platforms. And let's always go Browns.
Shout out to Reddy's Pizza. Send us some free pizza.